Okay, Isaac, these are my responses to your things. Enjoy Romania. I hope you have a great time there, even if you aren't there for pleasure but for business. And I hope that you can comprehend Romanian. I don't know whether you know how to speak that or not. Editing software. I myself have had some difficulties with it. The camera that I'm using right now is actually a digital photography camera, and that was the first thing I was using when I was doing videos, and it simply would not work with the only editing software we had at the time, which was Windows Movie Maker. And so I didn't edit anything back then. Then we got a new camera and a new editing software called Pinnacle software, which kind of worked for a while until the editing software first refused to format into a proper video after everything had been edited, and second, refused to upload videos from the new camera. So I'm back to the old system because that editing software just gave out and became a piece of crap. I hope your internet gets better. It would be rather unpleasant if that never happened. Driver's licenses in Manitoba. In Canada, driver's licenses is one of the things that's a provincial responsibility, so it varies from province to province. But in Manitoba, you can get your driver's license when you're 15. There's a written test. There's a course that you have to take beforehand, a written test, then a practical test. The practical test is ridiculously easy to fail. I failed it 3 times. Yes, I do have my driver's license. I can actually drive. Even after you get it, you spend the first amount of time on what is called a learner's license, where you have to drive with someone else who has been driving properly for 3 years. That's the only way you can drive. Then you get onto a probationary license, where you are allowed to drive on your own, but there's limits on the amount of people you can have with you after dark, and you can't have any blood alcohol level, not even the legal limit. You have to have 0, point blank. Shaving, I'm going to shave. I'm sorry to tell you this, Isaac, and I hope you don't go crazy, but I need to shave because I do intend to grow it out again, but I need to shave so that it all starts on the same level. Because right now, I trimmed this all down, so everything is uneven. I need to shave it so that it all comes out at an even pace, if you know what I mean. Plus, it'll come out thicker if I shave it. Shakespeare. The reason why I have so many things that are associated with Shakespeare is because my dad is a big Shakespeare buff. I've been exposed to Shakespeare my whole life. It's a big thing. And I agree, Romeo and Juliet isn't really the best play. If you want a good play, try Macbeth or Richard III. Those are good plays. Assuming you get good productions, but those are good plays. About Doctor Who, sorry you don't like it. I love it. I absolutely love Doctor Who. I have seen it ever since I was a child. I know I'm technically not the generation for Doctor Who because I was born after it was cancelled, but all my life I have watched Doctor Who. It is one of the oldest sci-fi things I know, and so I love it. Even when Russell T Davies, thank God he's leaving, was doing terrible things to it, still loved it. And so, but it's a general thing with sci-fi, Isaac. You can't really expect it to be realistic, because people with superpowers is no more realistic than an extraterrestrial who flies around in a trans-dimensional time-space machine. All sci-fi is unrealistic to some degree or another. In order to enjoy it, you need to accept that unrealism, if you know what I mean, while accepting the realism that they also work into it. It's a weird thing, but I still love Doctor Who. You said it as a honey boy. That's not what the position is called. We were technically just workers at the honey house, which is funny when you know how bee society is organized. But that was it, and there was no specifications to age or sex, and there was no specific name like that. We were just workers. We would have been workers for Keeper's Honey if we'd gone out into the fields, but we worked in the honey house. Gas. I don't know why we call it gas. We do. It's a habit. It's probably not going to change. I know I don't really see a reason for it to change either. It's what we call it. Chinese food. Generally speaking, no, I don't like Chinese food. There's some things I do like, but there's a fair bit I don't like. I like things like sweet and sour chicken balls, lemon chicken, beef fried rice, steamed rice. I'm not the biggest Chinese fan. And superpowers? The hard thing about picking a superpower is that any one superpower has both advantages and disadvantages. And so, if I picked one, it would necessarily have something with it that would make it undesirable. Given that, my choice would be, first, the ability to teleport, because then I could cut down a fortune in travel costs. If I want to go to a gathering in Toronto, poof, I could just go there. If I wanted to visit you or Jeremy, poof, could just go there. If I wanted to go to Australia, which I do, or New Zealand, or to any of the Aztec or Mayan ruins, I wouldn't need to pay for an airplane. I'd just go poof and make sure I have my passport on me. Another one that might be fun would be telepathy, because it's an interesting idea, reading other people's minds, but as always, both things have their disadvantages. So, that's the way that goes.